Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, a proud part of the Section 328 family. Follow us on Twitter at CheatersInVRPin. Now, live from ringside, it's Mr. Workrate and JC. Well, welcome back, friends. It's another week and another episode of the Cheaters Never Pin podcast. I'm JC. Next to me here at the commentary table of the stars, my good buddy, Mr. Workrate, Tom.
Good to be here as always, JC.
Good to have you, as always. So, I was just going to cut to the chase and be like, we ain't got much shit to talk about this week.
We do not.
Which, at the point we are in the year is kind of weird.
I mean, I could talk about this 1988 Saturday Night's Main Event match that I'm watching where Ultimate Warrior is stiffing the living hell out of this guy with a mask on.
No. Warrior taking liberties? Come on.
This guy's bumping like a man. I have no idea who he is because it's just like Super Ninja, so he's just...
It's Super Ninja.
Pretty much some,
They borrowed him from Chikara. It's fine.
He seems a little big to be a Chikara guy, but I need to find out who this guy is now.
Oh, you Google that, and I'll tell the folks what we're probably going to talk about. For what we're going to say is going to be an abbreviated show, but absolutely will not end up being one because it never is.
No, one of us will hit a rant, and the other will go get Uncrustables.
I have a feeling. I was going to say I have a feeling you're the one going on the rant tonight.
No, I got that out earlier.
But if you like that energy is going to carry over here.
Nah, I've hit my wall.
Okay. So we decided we should probably talk about the Mixed Match Challenge since we haven't really talked about that yet at all.
Yeah.
205 Live going through what looks to be a transformation at this time. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Jason Jordan living up to the gimmick. And much, much more this week here on the Cheaters Never Pin podcast.
Maybe not much, much more, but
Yeah, I just got, Tom, I'm just trying to sell the podcast to people. Okay?
I'm pretty sure if they're listening right now, they've already bought.
But they could have just downloaded it to be like, what's this? And then they're listening to the first 3 minutes and they're curious.
You mean like a hipster spite download? Like, I'm not really listening to this, but I'll just download it because...
That was also the soundbite I was going to cut out and put on tout so people would want to come find us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure that sentence was about 7 seconds.
Is that how long it's supposed to be on tout?
Literally cannot remember. No clue, my friend.
That's technology that came and went really while I was not paying attention.
Wow. It was before its time. Because it hit before Vine did, and then Vine was a huge freaking success. And then Instagram stole its thunder.
Well, that's Vince McMahon, just always ahead of his time.
What other things could Vince McMahon be ahead of his time on?
No, nothing else. I can't
okay.
really think of it.
I was like, ooh, we might have a bit here. I had nothing, so I fucking deferred that kick.
So I looked up who the Super Ninja was, obviously under a mask, so it wasn't obvious or anything like that. He was managed actually by Mr. Fuji, so it was thought to possibly be a thing.
So the ninja gimmick makes sense.
It is a former Portland superstar, I guess. I don't know. A regional superstar in Portland. Rip Oliver.
Oh. Okay.
Who, again, did some work in World Class and AWA in the Texas area, but mainly big in Portland. Fought guys like Billy Jack Haynes and that type of thing. But he really bumped all over the place in that match, so I could see why they would bring him in as a enhancement talent.
Cool.
Only did a couple of. He was actually the Super Ninja. It looks like when he was wrestling in the AWA here too. So, but
well, today I learned.
Yeah.
So let's dive in here and talk about the Mixed Match Challenge.
Okay.
What have you thought so far?
The matches themselves have been mainly because I don't like the formatting of a mixed gender matches, because it just kind of kills the strategy to kind of have this, well, I've tagged out, so now my opponent has to tag out. It's basically two singles matches that they've mashed together. But for whatever reason, I love the pairings. The pairings are just going together, just like some of them didn't necessarily fit, like Nakamura and Natalya didn't fit. But some of these pairings are just grouping off and almost making gimmicks for themselves. I mean, most recently, this Mandy Rose Goldust thing, which just came out of an injury, it looks like it could actually have some legs.
Yeah. So I totally agree with you. The matches themselves have not been great outside of the first week. The Finn, Sasha, Shinsuke, and Natalya match was actually good wrestling.
Right.
But I've really enjoyed them letting everyone kind of let their personalities go during the match. So they have a very like house show kind of comedy feel to them that isn't like detracting from it though. And so I really enjoy that. I also agree with hating on the intergender tag rules. I think it's dumb. It like ruins the flow of everything.
I mean, I get it to a certain extent, like, you know, Braun's going to kill somebody, but
right.
if you didn't book it in that particular way, if you booked it with, say, cruiserweights and women, like a 205 Live women's division kind of synergy there, then you could easily have a mixed match challenge where women would be fighting against men, but I'm not sure if that's something that they're ready for.
Yeah,
yet.
I think they just want to stay away from that. So I get it. But, I mean, it's been fun. I've enjoyed watching it the last 4 weeks. It's already been 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, just, again, like you mentioned, the comedy really works well with at least some of them. I mean, keep Sami Zayn and Becky Lynch together forever, pretty much. But
yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
The Alexa Braun pairing is really fun.
Team Innuendo?
Yeah, that post-match promo. We're going to go all the way. The crowd just starts yesing.
Just Braun's facial reactions like, what?
Okay. If you say so. And then, Goldust and Mandy Rose. That's the one that's been kind of really crazy fun. I would love to see them, like, if he gets to a point where he doesn't want to go in the ring anymore, like, make him her manager, too. Like, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, because Mandy's a little rough around the edges with her wrestling and her mic skills, but she's got the look. I mean, that's half the key nowadays, especially with female wrestlers. So,
right.
They know that they've got something there that they can kind of work with. But yeah, if you compare her off with Goldust, who's like just great on the mic and just can kind of work his own, who's been known to take absolutely nothing and make something out of it. Like
Goldust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a future there. Or at least there's something there to kind of get her moving instead of just sticking her into that group, which I forget which one is she in. She's in the Raw one.
She's
the one
in
that Paige
Absolution.
was.
Yeah.
Okay. which isn't really almost a group anymore, it seems.
Yeah, it's weird. Like they just come out together.
Well, you've got Paige, who's not wrestling anymore.
Right.
And then you've got
Sonya Deville.
Who's kind of got her own thing where she doesn't necessarily need anyone. And then Mandy's off to the side. So the two of them have their own kind of thing going. And I don't know if you package Sonya with Paige to kind of allow Paige to do the talking for Sonya, which would be greatly helpful. Because you need something to do with Paige. But
right. Totally forgot where I was going to go with this. What my next comment was going to be, which is really helpful.
I ruined everything.
In a recorded. No, I had it and then I lost it right when I opened my mouth, which is great whenever we're trying to record a conversation about something. Professionalism. There we go. Okay, I remember now. There we go. That was great audio. I've also really enjoyed all of the superstars from the following week, like them taking one pair and having them just do Facebook comments on the live stream the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Rusev last night was on fire as always because he's Rusev. But that's been really entertaining. Becky and Sammy were really funny.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's allowing these workers the ability to kind of freestyle.
Yeah.
And it's not being stuck in these straight written scripts that outside people have been writing for them and booking for them and that type of thing. This is them pretty much flying by the seat of their pants.
We're really getting their personality, like what they think the personality of their character is. And that's when it works.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think ideally I would have liked to, I was a little bit surprised to see, and I guess that's how you kind of had to get it over, to see Nakamura in it and, some of the other more major stars necessarily. Yeah. I would have rather seen the lower card people or maybe the main event type. By main event, I mean the show, not actual.
Yeah.
I
got you.
But the people that aren't necessarily doing anything on Raw or SmackDown and getting them some exposure, like Apollo Crews is going to be next week, I think, or whenever.
He's the final week of the first round.
Yeah. But I mean, people like that, although Apollo's been looking great recently.
Yeah. He pulled out the full UHA combination Monday night, which was great to see.
I mean, I was kind of digging him and Titus as a tag team.
Me too.
When they went up against the Bar, I guess, not this week, but maybe it was last week.
A couple weeks ago, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. You didn't necessarily expect them, to actually take the belts, but as the match went along, and they gave them a little bit of time too, as the match went along, you're kind of looking at it and you're like, that'd be kind of cool if they won.
Yeah.
But
it's enjoyable. They're enjoyable. And then
Dana Brooke making calculations.
Dana Brooke's just there. That's what I was going to say. But yeah, Mixed Match Challenge. Watch it. It's, you know what? There are many worse things you could be watching. I know it's getting a lot of hate for, especially people like Braun and playing kind of face and, Asuka being really excited to tag with The Miz because he's a heel, but who cares? To me, this is separate than their other storylines, so of course their motivations here would be different.
And I have no problem with, let's say, okay, you just named two there. Braun kind of softening himself a little bit for, someone like Alexa Bliss. It's not like it's a another guy that's kind of it's the pretty girl, and it's like, again, it's that Beauty and the Beast thing. It's like that's almost believable. Like, she's the one that can calm him down.
Right.
And then you've got, I don't see an issue with Asuka and Miz just because Miz just seems to be encouraging her, and Asuka gives no shits. Asuka will beat up everybody, win the tournament, then beat up Miz. She does not care.
Yes. Let that happen now. Be down with that. But yeah, like I said, watch it. It's if for nothing else, to see the ridiculous comments people are putting in there while you're watching it live. That can be sometimes can be the most entertaining thing going on. Is to just see the weird shit people are writing, and knowing other people can see it.
I love how, like, commentary midway through matches they have to explain to you how, like, Facebook streaming works. Like, if you want to swipe to the left, if you don't want the commentary, swipe to the right if you want the commentary.
You get that backwards. Pay attention next time.
I don't actually watch it live.
You should, like I said, just to see the comments, dude. In real time. People trying to be like, Alexa, like, and they're serious. Be like, Alexa's so hot, I really want to, like, and I'm like, whoa, like, this is a public forum. Like, you need to lock it down. She's with Otis.
But, dude, she could be, like, reading this right now.
Yeah, if she reads it, maybe she'll, like, come over.
Like, no, she's actually wrestling right at this moment. Yeah, but, like.
But later, like, she's gonna go back and, like, read the comment I wrote. And she's like, wow.
She's got, like, probably, like, a manager or something that, like, oversees it. And it was probably, like, watching the match and, like, watching the comments. And then maybe, like, she sees, like, what I say. And then they'd be like, hey, here are the top comments that people said about you. And this one's the number one comment. And I thought maybe, like, she'd be like, oh, wow, this number one comment's, like, I'd really like to meet this person. And then maybe we'd set up a meet and greet. And then, like, I'd meet them. And then, it would just be, magic.
I should really, like, take a new profile photo with, like, all of her action figures I bought and the used ring-worn t-shirt I paid $7,000 for on auction. And, like, hold all that around my face so she knows how much, like, I really like her and am in love with her. So then she'll be like, wow, he really cares about me. And then, yeah, she'll get back in touch, man.
Or maybe that picture, like, that time that I met her at the airport.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. It was, like, 2:30 in the morning, man. You remember that?
Like, she looks so pissed, but that's her gimmick, you mark.
Yeah, she was living it, man. Of course she was mad.
Okay. That's. We've just pissed off like 3 people who actually listen to the podcast.
So 10% of our audience.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on and talk about 205 Live.
Flippy vanilla midgets. That's what Kevin Nash told me. I'm sorry.
Okay, you just slid that note over. Spoiler alert, he actually tore a quad while he was doing it. Have you watched the last 2 weeks?
No. I've seen I've seen clips though, and I mean I saw some clips of, I guess it was the Kalisto, who did he fight? Lince Dorado, I think.
Yes. Yeah, that match was sloppy as shit.
But see, I only saw clips of it, so it looked great!
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was still fun. It was just really sloppy, Lucha. It was like, I think the description I heard earlier today was, it was like a WCW cruiserweight undercard match.
I miss those. Just random flipping from Ciclope and Damien 666 and
yeah,
other people.
But so
Super Colo.
We touched. Can you just make that the gimmick of just yelling random WCW cruiserweight names? Just at random times throughout the podcast.
Okay.
I like it. No, I wasn't like shitting on it. I was saying like,
El Dandy!
there you go. So I think we touched on it last week, but the former Rockstar Spud, Drake Maverick, is now the general manager of 205 Live.
Best name ever.
Is it?
Drake Maverick?
It's really terrible, dude.
That's why it's great.
It's pretty bad.
It's like up there with like Dick Johnson and like Lance Catamaran.
So other horrible names that were horrible on purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
That name is horrible on purpose too.
So anyway, I'm going to move on. Before you cut a promo on me for having a dissenting opinion here.
His name was Spud.
That wasn't a bad name to begin with. It was very unique. Anyway, he's the new GM of 205 Live. Last week, he, in the absence of one Enzo Amore, who was forced to vacate the title.
I have no idea why. Let's move on.
Yeah. We're having a tournament, a cruiserweight tournament. It's first of its kind, really, in WWE, to determine a cruiserweight champion that will conclude at WrestleMania. And this tournament's been good. We got Tyler Bate in it week 1. We had Roddy in it this week. We get Mark Andrews in it next week. And the best part of it is, apparently, PW Insider reported today, the reason all this is kind of happening is because for the last 2 weeks, Vince has turned over all the showrunner duties for 205 Live to Triple H. So it will become a more ring action focused show, you know, like the Cruiserweight Classic that was a giant hit.
I don't care what's going on. It just flippy midgets.
Who the fuck are these little guys? They're always around, but only on. Why are they here on Mondays?
What the hell is a rock salt spunk?
Rock salt spunk. That's his name if he goes back to TNA. That's his new Impact Zone name. But yeah, it's been really fun. Roddy and Hideo had a really killer match last night. You should definitely watch. The Kalisto Lince Dorado match was it was fun, but whatever. You can skip it. But Mark Andrews and Akira Tozawa next week. Yes. I don't know, I'm excited. I'm excited for 205 Live to like mean something for the first time.
That's the thing. You're getting, it's not the same like 8 people. You're starting to mix in more people. You got Roddy in there. You got Mark Andrews in there. You're getting some of the British guys in there. The talent is there. The talent is available under contract. It's just use it.
Yeah, and I think it all stems from these are the cruiserweights. These are guys that get over on their work. Like, let them work. And hopefully, with Triple H in the driver's seat, that will happen. But my fear with that is that the Raw booking, which is what needs to be, obviously is the entire reason to, like, hook people into the cruiserweights to get them to the network in 205 Live, is probably still under Vince's control since it's on Raw.
Right.
So that's still what they kind of have to build off of and use, and it just doesn't make any sense there. There's still a huge disconnect. And I don't know how you solve that. Do you know how to solve that?
I do not know how to solve that. There's not a whole hell of a lot you can do with it.
No, yeah. So maybe those segments will be turned over to Hunter too. We can hope, right?
We can. I've learned not to hope for things.
No, especially not in WWE. Yeah, if there's a time to get back, if you enjoyed the Cruiserweight Classic, which if you're human, you probably did, now's the time to get back into 205 Live, or to get into it for the first time, since it's not the 45-minute-a-day Enzo Amore show anymore.
Silver King!
I forgot about it. You know what Silver King probably does when he's not wrestling, Tom?
I can't even imagine.
Betty shops on Amazon.
That's a good possibility.
But you know what he should do instead of going to his browser and typing in AMAZON?
No, what should he do? Because that's what I would think I would do.
Oh, never do that. That's wrong. You go
Okay.
to your browser, to your Mozilla or your Netscape. I think you can, instead of typing in an AOL keyword, you can still type in a URL.
How about Opera?
Ooh, yeah, Opera.
Yeah,
that's good too.
I had Opera at one time.
Now I'm trying to think of more defunct browsers.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's probably it. I'm sure there are more, though. Anyway, go to your browser and you type in cheatersneverpin.com.
Oh?
Yes, and right there when it loads, there's a big button that says Buy on Amazon. And you click that, and it takes you to Amazon. It's internet magic. But
Is it huge? Is it a huge button? Will I miss it?
No, it's very huge.
Okay.
Yes. But let me break kayfabe on it a little bit here, because yes, it takes you to Amazon. But when you do all your shopping there, it's going to look like Amazon and act like Amazon, because it is. But then when you're done, without charging you an extra penny, they give us a commission on your sale, because we sent you to Amazon.
I wanted to make sure it still was Amazon. It wasn't some scam that you were trying to pull.
It's not Amazon.co.jp.uk. You're still going to Amazon.com.
What happens if I go to Amazon.com?
Please don't break your computer. We need it to record the show.
Amazon.com, for reference, takes you to the French Amazon.com.
You can go to the Amazon.
Amazon.fr.
Baguettes are on sale.
In case you want to, send something to Quebec.
We sell all the kids' cigarettes.
My children need wine.
It's the only way they can cope with how shit life is.
See, I'm making Simpsons references. JC's horribly racist.
Duh. Anyway, go to cheatersneverpin.com, click the Amazon button, and buy your shit, and then we get a cut of it, and we appreciate it. If you would have told me before we started recording that I would start doing a French accent 20 minutes into the show, I'd be like, you're wrong, sir.
I would not have been surprised.
Now I'm trying to figure out how to do French Terry Funk. Anyway, we'll save that for another. That's the next drunk podcast.
Je parle français. Que?
Oh man, I said you got a rum. I don't know. Bray Wyatt's hard. Anyway.
Je joue de football. Que?
French Stone Cold. Would that be Les Stone Cold?
Les Stone Cold. Que? Yeah, my 8th grade French really isn't paying off right now.
I took Spanish that I don't remember, so, All right. Last thing on the docket before we get to that much, much more part. Which I think was us doing French accents. I think that's your much, much more.
Okay.
Jason Jordan had minimally invasive neck surgery because he apparently had some kind of nerve compression that he'd be relieved, which had been rumored he'd actually been hurt for a while because he hadn't been in a match and hadn't really bumped at all. He took one bump last week, I think. But so he's out for an undetermined amount of time as he lets the nerve heal back up. Kind of sad though. I was enjoying the storyline, so I hope they're able to keep it alive.
Yeah, they may just do something along the lines of like him getting some kind of special treatment, throw that neck brace out there, make him just a complete whiny bitch.
Oh God. Also, someone on Reddit suggested he become the assistant general manager. Oh, Jesus. Just so much heat.
Just go Dwight Schrute on him.
You're the assistant, too. Just... I like Kurt Angle as Michael Scott, actually, now. It's a really good idea.
He does have a Michael Scott vibe, later Michael Scott, not early Michael Scott. But
the slightly more self-aware Michael Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he's not, standing in the middle of the ring, completely forgetting his lines and what the name of Elimination Chamber is. Spoiler alert, Kurt, it's Elimination Chamber. That was crazy Monday night. Okay, so that was Jason Jordan's having surgery. That's that whole bit. Can we talk about how bad that Kurt Alexa promo was Monday night?
I suppose we could.
What the hell was that shit? I don't understand any piece of that, dude. Like, so we break it down into her calling him sexist, and then we make the crowd out to maybe be sexist, and then Kurt's out there shaking and forgetting his lines, and what the hell was that?
Alexa's promos are fine for the most part. I think when she just kind of flies on her own. But I think there's a lot of influence into what she says, and it stops becoming natural for her. And when she loses the ability to be natural, she loses kind of her focus, and it seems extremely unnatural. It comes off really badly.
Well, and you can tell too when they've like really overly scripted her, because her pacing is different, like completely different.
Yeah.
I will say this sentence, and then I'm going to say this sentence. Sassy head move. That's her. That's how they write her, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
And I realize they write everything she says, but whoever's writing that way for her, if it's the same writer, or maybe they're working, moving around working on different stuff all the time. I don't really know, but ooh, that was bad. Because it just started off so bad too with Kurt.
There's a difference in Alexa and now, I do not hate women, despite what JC says, but there's a difference in writing, for lack of a better term, an obnoxious bitch to just a traditional bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
no, 100%.
Like Alexa is a mean girl bitch. Like, that's how she kind of talks under her breath sometimes, and she's just nasty. She's not, but that's the character that she's developed. If you've ever seen the movie Mean Girls, that's her. That's, the obnoxious girl in school with the popularity that just kind of eye rolls or whatever. She's not obnoxious. She's obnoxious in her own way, but it doesn't come off. Alexa works better when when it appears that she doesn't even realize how obnoxious she's being.
Right.
Like, she's just being inconvenienced by people that aren't her and things like that. But they try to make her out into this almost like bordering on Vicky Guerrero kind of, I'm going to make you hate me because I am a heel, and this is what I'm supposed to say, now boo me. And that's not how she feels comfortable, and it's not comfortable when they put her in that type of role.
No, not at all. I think you just hit the nail on the head there. Because I have nothing to add, so that was perfect. You actually rendered me speechless, Tom.
That was Cheaters Never Pin. We're completely done for the rest of the year.
for the all of time. All time.
All time.
Yes. Anything else we want to talk about? It's a quiet week in the world of wrestling. Rousey's still filming her movie, so we'll see her when she's done with that, probably. I would assume after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Now she was training. She's been training for the last few months, you said, down at performance center.
Yeah, she's been in and out of the PC, and my thought would be when she's done with her movie, she'll report there too.
How did they keep her out of like the public eye for that long?
Who knows, dude? That's an impressive piece of work by WWE.
Because either she hasn't been, and I don't know,
Right.
or like she has, and they've completely kept that under wraps. Like they have a tunnel somewhere that they're. I mean, because she has that level of fame that you're going to realize that, oh, where's Ronda Rousey now? She's at, she's in Florida. Oh, we saw her. Like the suspicion wasn't even necessarily there. I mean, there were kind of generic rumors or whatever, but they weren't based on anything. But you'd think that you'd see her in like the Florida area, that there'd be like, oh, well, she's in that area, and maybe people put two and two together or whatever. She was never like connected to anything.
Right. No, it was nice, other than the random sightings of Triple H and her places.
Which meant nothing, really.
No, yeah. Nothing at all.
I mean, you knew they meant something, but like the suspicion wasn't necessarily that she was training to become a full-time wrestler or anything.
No, yeah. Signing her to a one-off for an appearance, maybe, but that was it.
Right, and I think it was pretty much expected that Ronda was going to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah. For sure.
But was it going to be some kind of tag match? I mean, there was talk about there being some kind of tag match with her and The Rock against Stephanie and Triple H, or were they going to have her just do some kind of appearance like she did, what was it, last year or the year before, where she just kind of showed up and made Stephanie quiver or whatever.
Right. Yeah, who knows?
Or maybe make the appearance at at WrestleMania to kind of sign her contract there, to then turn around and go into training and work her way through, make a big debut somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Who knows?
It's going to be weird seeing her get introduced and to be at that level. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know how training's going, but you would think she needs to have some kind of matches under her belt before she starts to get exposed. I mean, everybody, Kurt Angle went through OVW or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they've said that, I've seen in several places how he was, I mean, people like Jim Cornette were like, he is the most natural wrestler that ever, like, who took to the business, not necessarily a great wrestler, because there's a lot of people that were great amateur wrestlers that go into pro wrestling and, it takes them a while to figure it out or whatever.
Right.
He was just, had the knowledge that he was just a natural talent.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. All right. I think that does it, man. I think we actually got in and out of a show in record time tonight.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, MLW starts their World Championship tournament tomorrow night too, and so it'll be up on their on-demand service later. But there's a Matt Riddle Jeff Cobb match.
Is Tony Schiavone still doing commentary?
Yep, he is.
So MLW is just going to be a straight promotion now.
Yep.
Okay.
They got shows booked for like the next 4 months or something. So.
I assume it's still Court Bauer behind it.
It is.
Okay. Because I remember the original MLW. Because I actually went to an MLW show in 2002, maybe?
Oh, cool.
I don't know, something along that area. But they ran I think I went to Hammerstein Ballroom, speaking of the Manhattan Center. And actually got to see Kojima wrestle in America.
Huh.
But it was just this card that it was like almost like straight for like it was such an internet wrestling card because you had these, like, you had Kojima, I think, like Carino was involved, Steve Carino. They had a couple of ECW guys like C.W. Anderson wrestled. Steve Dr. Death Williams wrestled. So I got to actually see him in person, which was kind of cool. They had, I can't think of his name, the Mexican dude who was 1000% Guapo. I can't think of his actual name, though. I think it might have been Shocker. But I mean, just this variety of, like, talent. They had cruiserweights. They had old school wrestlers from, like, the 80s. They had, you know, New Japan wrestlers. They had a little bit of everything. So it was interesting. I was curious to see where they were going with it because they had, you know, they were obviously spending a few bucks.
Yeah, clearly.
And the market was there. I guess it was kind of one of those things where the market was available because WCW was gone and ECW was gone and TNA was just starting up around that point. So it's like, if you actually had a decent amount of money behind you, there were wrestlers that were out there looking for work, name wrestlers, and there was that opportunity. So I don't know. I got to see a cool show, and it lasted, I think, like, if you look at the MLW World title or whatever, there's like maybe 6 title defenses before they eventually close shop.
Yeah. Well, they're trying it again. First round of the championship tournament.
Hey,
this week.
Go for
Tomorrow
it.
night.
Market may be better for stuff like this. I mean, the
I
show
think it is now.
with like Ring of Honor and stuff like that, it shows that, you know, fans are more open to non-WWE wrestling.
Yep. All right, buddy. Tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Go to Twitter machine at Mr. Workrate, at MR Workrate. My tout account, I think, has been blocked, so you may want to give me 48 hours where you try to connect with me there. I'm accepting Bitcoin.
Ooh.
I guess. I don't know.
You want to give your wallet address?
It's got 7. There's a 4, an equal sign, maybe. I was talking out of my ass. I have no idea. I'm just trying to be hip, JC.
Okay, buddy. I appreciate it. You can find me on the internet at JCBobbitt, JCBOBBITT, on every fine social media platform. You can find the show on Twitter at CheatersNeverPin, CheatersNVRPin. We're on Facebook. Wherever you're listening to us, also rate, review, and subscribe. So the next 3 weeks of this show may be a little weird because I'm not going to be in the state, so we're currently figuring out a plan to how to get it to you. So
Would you like to co-host the show with me and produce it? Let us know on the Twitter machine.
Yes, at CheatersNVRPin. Because I will not be near my studio, so. But anyway, another fun show, as always. I enjoyed that. Always good to talk wrestling with you, Turk.
Viano number 4.
Alright. Anyway, on that note, I'll never get over that bit. I'm JC.
I'm Tom.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.